What is going on? It's Josh with your poems, and this is Free Speech Friday, and you're listening to Tower Radio Conway. Tower Radio Conway. Woo! Since it is Free Speech Friday, I have a rack of poems for you. I don't have a song, sadly. I don't write that many songs. I just decided to bombard you with songs for the past 2 weeks, but this week it's a bit different. Not a bit different, but I don't have songs. And as for the music, I picked old indie-ish songs that I liked from middle school and high school. So from the years 2009 to 2014-15, which is very broad. So prepare for broadness. So I am Josh, and you can find me on all the social medias. Well, not all of them, because that would be practically impossible, but go to Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Tumblr, Twitter, WordPress, and YouTube. Please subscribe and like this video. It's going to be a video later. Yeah. So go. I'm actually uploading a video right now. It's still loading. But anyways, that should be up. That's actually last week's. So yeah, just go to my channel and check out my playlists that I have up. And Spotify. You go on Spotify, you want to listen to the music that I listen to. All my playlists are public. They should be, at least, except for the ones that I don't want to disclose to the public. Obviously, that's why they're not public. So just look up Josh Burns. Ramble on. Shoutouts. My friend Alejandro, he likes to do artwork. He doesn't have a page yet, so I will keep you posted about that. Because he told me about it. I'm like, bro, make a page. He's like, okay, well. And if you go to my girlfriend's Instagram art page, she has some pretty crazy, not crazy, but just crazy good, I might say. So that's Phantom Point Avondale. Art. Yes. She hasn't posted on it in a while, so I don't know. And she doesn't know that I'm doing this. So she's probably going to say something to me if she's listening right now. So, yeah. And all my radio peeps, I should have, I don't know if I'm going to just say the times regularly. That seems kind of monotonous, but yeah. Coming up next is DJ Shaka tomorrow. And this is Friday. What am I doing? But, yeah, so that's that. I have a lot of poems. Actually, what I'm going to do with poems tonight is I'm just going to read a lot of excerpts that I've done. Over the years, I've written many things, and a lot of things incomplete. Not incomplete, just sort of short, I guess. If that makes any sense. Yeah, because when you create something, you don't know where, I honestly don't know where it's going to go, and sometimes it leads down a long, winding road, sometimes it leads down a driveway, just to put it in perspective. So yeah, I'm just going to be reading a lot of little things, a lot of cheesy things, a lot of dark things. We're going to get deep, because it's free speech. Woo, the people. So I have a song for you, and you're going to listen to it, hopefully. It's the song 1901 by Phoenix. Go ahead and click the link for you YouTube people. And yeah, here we go. Yes, that is how you do it. You create good memories through that song. Yes, that's what you do. Okay, so Poetry. I really love poetry. Um, yeah, and I over the years I've just written little tiny things here and there. So I'm gonna mostly focus on that tonight. And by the way, you're listening to Tar Radio Conway, if you don't know that already. So the first one is kind of this was while I was at a community college. I wrote this. I specifically remember writing this during while I was waiting to see my advisor to do my schedule for next semester. Um, yeah, so scheduling. So the clock was definitely on the brain. Uh, it's real short. It goes like people start and end on the 30s and the o'clocks. We pretend and take pride that we are busy. Freakin' A. We need coffee with the most shots. What the hey? There's no point in being drowsy. Yeah, that was. So, what I mean by 30s and o'clocks, because it's it's referring to a clock, like 2:30, 5 o'clock, 30s and the o'clocks. I thought it was clever. I mean, other people might think it's clever too, but I may just be the only one who feels that way. But we pretend and take pride that we are busy. A lot of people like to just busy themselves, and honestly, I've noticed I've done that too. Where if you stay busy, you feel like you're doing something, but that's not necessarily true. As long as you're staying busy doing what you love. I mean, I know you're not gonna like draw that conclusion from just one line, but that's what I was referring to. Freaking A, we need coffee with the most shots. What the hey? There's no point in being drowsy. So, yeah, there's that. Woo! Moving on. Moving on. I need to think of a better band than Led Zeppelin to pull from. But here's another one about, not another one, but this one's about school and graduating and the sadness that it brings. And I say, I'm hanging up my letterman, probably for good. I'm seeing my old friends again, but now in books. The past has made me who I am. I won't regret the person that I see when I look in the mirror. Seems like everything's clear when I look in the mirror. So it's kind of self-explanatory. Hanging up my letterman, probably for good. Seeing my old friends again, but now in the yearbook. The past has made me who I am, which is kind of a naive way to put it, but I won't regret. That's funny. I always have regrets. The person that I see when I look in the mirror. So I guess it's kind of a naive kind of hope as a senior, because you can be a senior and be naive. It is possible. I obviously was. Just reading this, it just sort of makes me sick. Well, not makes me sick, but, yeah. So when I look in the mirror, and it's a funny thing about a mirror. Whenever I look in the mirror, you're not looking at yourself, but you're looking at a reflection of yourself. And it's more than just the literal it's more than the literal reflection of yourself. it's it's who you want people to see as opposed to who you really are. Sort of my dark twist on looking into a mirror. If I mean, okay, Josh, way to lighten the mood. But yeah, just mirrors. They're to me, they're just haunting, in a sense, that you're not really looking at yourself, but you're looking at yourself. But yeah, so it's sort of an oxymoron when I say it seems like everything's clearer when I look in the mirror, because life is not clear. I obviously wasn't referring to that when I wrote this, but I'm looking back now, I'm like, Dang, that is a major loophole you just left wide open, Josh. Okay. I'm going to read this last one, and then we're going to play one of my favorite songs by The Killers. Oops, did I say that out loud? Anyways, I'm going to read this poem first. But just you wait. I will play The Killers here soon. All right, here it is. It's so hard to not look back at your life. You can see what you did when you were 5. I'm not just talking about reflection. I'm talking about notifications. If I were to see your feed, what would I read? Would it represent you? Would it all be untrue? Or maybe all too well? On this subject, I could dwell. There are the old-fashioned who stay strong. Although they seem out of loop, they seem wrong. It's just weird. It's weird to think about. Why interact when it's so out, so yesterday? Cut the cliche. I honestly have no idea what was going through my mind when I wrote that, just being completely honest. Yeah. So it's so hard not to look back at your life. So what I'm saying is it's kind of at this time and age, you can literally look back at your memories and see yourself when you were 5. Because Facebook, Snapchat, you don't have those when you're 5, but your parents nowadays will post about you when you're little, and so you can just you don't really have to remember because it's all there. So it's hard not to look back at your life. It's becoming easier and easier to remember things being little, as opposed to how it used to be, where you just get like glimpses of being 3 and remember like this one specific odd memory about being 3, like the way that your great grandma smelled, or just that she walked weird, or something really obscure like that. But now it's obviously completely different, or so I'm saying. I'm not just talking about reflection, I'm talking about notifications. So, yeah. Not just like looking back at childhood and nostalgically, but like seeing, because I don't know if I like the memories on Facebook or not. Sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't, because it just reminds me of who I don't talk to anymore, which is really sad. But if I were to see your feed, what would I read? So now I'm getting into fake people on social media, because there's a lot of fake people on social media, and it kind of bugs me, but would it represent you? Would it all be untrue? So, rhetorical questions, obviously, to each his own. You can answer these however you want. I'm just asking the question. All you're doing is answering it for yourself. Do you feel like what you see on your feed represents who you are as a person? Or maybe all too well? I don't know. That seems repetitive to me. I'm a very repetitive person. On this subject, I could dwell. There are the old-fashioned who stay strong. Although they seem out of loop, they seem wrong. So, old-fashioned people. It's not. A lot of older people are just frustrating and out of time almost. and occasionally you'll meet some 20-something-year-old who dresses up like they're 60 and listens to the Monkees. I don't mean that as a diss, but they seem out of loop. Not only do they seem out of loop, they seem wrong. And why do they seem wrong? I don't know. People just assume things too much. It's just weird. It's weird to think about. Yeah, that's something I say a lot. Why interact when it's so out, so yesterday? So at this point, I'm just trying to say that why interact with anyone when you could just go online and see them? That's essentially what I'm saying. It's kind of a exaggerated. Yeah, it's just really exaggerated, but I like exaggerations because it gets the point across faster. Cut the cliche. So I'm just saying, break from the mold. Break it. Don't do it. It's not good. Well, no, it is good. I'm encouraging to break from the mold. Anyways, here is a song from the Killers that is my absolute favorite out of all of the Killers songs, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. So, here is All These Things That I've Done by the Killers. Yes! I sincerely apologize. I did not mean to play two songs. I really didn't. So that was Chasing Cars by Snow Patrol. The one prior was all These Things That I've Done by the Killers. Yes. So, moving on to poems. Which are both great songs. They really are. I love them dearly. And remember to go check out my YouTube and my blog. Yeah, WordPress. I don't write on it much, but it's okay. So, this next poem is kind of struggling with faith a little bit for me. I wrote it during chapel 1 week. And basically what chapel is here at CBC, it's basically a service where the music's run by the students and they bring in a guest speaker. So it's kind of like a sermon or a church service of sorts. But yeah, I wrote this during, so let us devour. My goal in life is to not feel strife, easy moving without proving anything. I was raised in a white world. The black parts were feared and rejected. I'm inclined to believe I can be who I want to be. Jesus to me was just a prophet. I invest in him, but I gain no profit. I don't know what I want, and that scares me to death. I put on a good front, but I look to my past. I have a limited lexicon. I wish it weren't so. I have a longing to learn, I believe, and bestow. My trusting traits will eventually end me. The willow's wake will cause a storming. My storm had no formation. My storm is my frustration. Let my sea subside by the wayside. Let the gray grow on the inside. Black and white never befriended me. Black and white, always a catastrophe. Shades of gray are what I long to be. Shades of gray is my great epiphany. So, to unpackage this, my goal in life is to not feel strife. Easy moving without proving anything. So it's a bit cynical towards myself, I guess. Not feel strife. So basically just not have to struggle. Always be happy, which is it's never going to happen. Let's just face it. Easy moving without having to prove anything. I do not like conflict. I really don't. It's something that I hate about myself, and I wish did not happen as often as it does. But here we are. I honestly don't know what I was trying to prove in the nature of the line without proving anything. I don't know what my point was in saying that. I guess it's sort of fitting. I was raised in a white world, so I guess you could take this to be about race, but it's not. What I mean by white and what I mean by black is the white is Christianity as a whole, and black is basically anything of the devil. I was taught to accept the white and fear and reject the black. Basically is how I feel. My feelings towards the black and white world, because I highly doubt the world is black and white. And the nature of the phrase black and white meaning there's always good and there's always bad and there's always balance. It's always going to be that way, and there's always a nature. Well, there is a nature to things. It's not so simple. I'm inclined to believe I can be who I want to be, which is basically the moral of every Disney movie made now. That you can be whoever you want to be. Yay! Yes. Which is not dissing on them, but Jesus to me was just a prophet. I invest in him, capital H, but I gained no profit. What I meant by this line is basically what it's saying. I'm just gonna say it. I've always struggled with the thought of predestination, and basically God knowing that I was either going to heaven or hell, and for him to know that just seems a bit creepy from a human standpoint, that he does know that before time even existed. It just, I don't know, part of it bothers me. And so to me, I know that Jesus is God, and I do believe that. I'm just not sure if I believe in it. And Jesus to me was just a prophet. And what I mean by that is that his teachings were spot on. It's just my whole trust in God has faded, so he's just a prophet to me now. And not to say that he is just, I know I said he's just a prophet, but what I'm saying is I feel like now he is just a prophet in my eyes. I have tried to invest in him, but I gain no profit. I see no profitable outcome in the long run, basically. So that's just a breakdown of what I'm thinking when I wrote that, which is honestly, it's sad to think I've come this far only to have my greatest sin be unbelief. So I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want is the next line. And that scares me to death. Obviously, I'm having a crisis over here. I put on a good front, but I look to my past. So I was thinking of like your front and then your past being behind you. Like I put on a good front, but all the things behind me I still like to look at, and that's kind of a oxymoron on my part. It's a contradiction because why do that? Why do I do that? I don't know. It's just what I do. I don't know. It's oh god. I'm trying to get inside my own head. It's not working. It's just not working. I put on a good front in order to try to not hurt people like I have been hurt. If that makes any sense. Which it does in my eyes. I have a limited lexicon. I wish it weren't so. I have a longing to learn, I believe, and bestow. So, the meaning for bestow is to place faith in, I think is what it means. Here, I'm looking it up. Oh, confer or present. To bestow is like when something is bestowed upon. It's like something being passed down through generation, or the honor of having some. Like like the Medal of Honor. You get bestowed the Medal of Honor. Basically, I believe and I bestow. I try to be a good person. I try to bestow happiness to people. I have a longing to learn, even though my vocab is just crap. I wish I had more words in my head, but I don't. My trusting traits will eventually end me, so I can be a very trusting person, and I feel like that will be the end of me. Which, in a sense, yeah. The willow's wake will cause a storming. Willows, so a willow tree. When something gets me off my game, so to speak, it can cause a hurricane in my mind sometimes. A trigger goes off. I don't even know how to explain it, but my storm had no formation. My storm is my frustration. That'd be a really cool tattoo, honestly. I was I was born with it, I feel like. And it keeps on going. But let my sea subside by the wayside. So the sea, the storm being in the sea, let my sea subside by the wayside. So subside meaning becoming less intense or severe, and then wayside meaning the edge of the road. So stopping right where it needs to stop. Basically, before it gets any more out of hand, I need my storm to settle. I need it to stop. Let the gray grow on the inside. And the gray is not bad. It's just accepting the world for what it is, instead of having this false optimistic outlook on life. I feel like black and white never befriended me, so I've always struggled with viewing the world in black and white. And honestly, I hate to bring Rick and Morty into this right now, but that's honestly the point of Rick and Morty, is to just show that there are no villains and there are no heroes, because both heroes and villains have flaws. It's just one knows how to hide them better. And that could be really exaggerated cynicism, if that's even a word, but cynic thoughts is all I'm trying to say. But black and white, always a catastrophe. So with the great good, there is always going to be a greater evil, is how I have started to view life. Because when you have something that is good, moral, you're going to have something that's immoral. Shades of gray are what I long to be. Shades of gray is my great epiphany. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on life, and that about wraps up the poems for today's show here. I'm here to play you. So yeah, just wrapping up the end of that thought, which would be that poem, is just my change as a person, my view of the world changing every year, to be completely honest, because I used to be really naive, and now I have tried harder and harder to open my eyes to the possibilities, per se, being that of shades of gray. And yeah, I hope you had fun listening to my mind speak, because it does that sometimes. Anyway, here is the song Animal by Neon Trees. Yes. So for you YouTube people, you can... Okay, so for the whole YouTube thing, I've never explained this. I feel like I should explain it just at the beginning of every video. So I think I'm just going to do that from now on. Explain the whole video thing. I put the songs in the playlist. I put the song links in the description, and in the video I tell you to click on the link. So that could be either one. So basically, I can't put the songs in my video, but I can tell you to go listen to the song. And that's up to you. I mean, I don't expect I don't expect people to actually click on the link. Even though I would like it, I don't. It's not something you have to do. I just leave it as an option. So just so you know, it's the videos, the links are always in my description on the main video, or you can just go to the playlist and play them from there. It makes it easier if you have YouTube Red. So, yeah, I will quit babbling and I will show you Animal by Neon Trees. Yes, that's how we do it in the underworld. Not the underworld, but yeah, it's been fun. It's been real fun. I'll be back on Wednesday. I'm on the air on Wednesday and Friday at 10. And if you missed that, my encore, which is basically a recording of my last show. So Friday's the I'm trying to make this simple. So this show will come back again next Wednesday. And then when I record next Wednesday's show, it'll come back again on Friday. So Wednesday's broadcast is Friday's encore, and Friday's broadcast is Wednesday's encore. Yes. So that's how it works. 10 o'clock, Wednesday, Friday. And don't forget to check out my other friends, DJs and whatnot, here at Tower Radio Conway. And Free Speech Friday is exactly what it says it is. Free speech. So if you have something that you want to say, tell me, and I'll say it. Yes. So that includes like song requests and poems from other artists that you feel like should be mentioned, because that's what this day is all about, basically. And shout outs. Please tell me to shout you out. I would love to shout out your artwork or anything, really. And if you want to follow me anywhere, that's just going to be at Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Tumblr, Twitter, WordPress, and YouTube. Like and subscribe, comment, follow, whatever you have to do. Email, I don't even know. And Spotify, you just go to Josh Burns. Oh, right, socials, Lazy Mumbler. You go to Lazy Mumbler for all the social stuff. So it's been fun. See you later.